Coming to you from Crash Studios in Music City, USA, Nashville. This is the Rich Redmond Show. On this episode, hit recording artist, singer, and guitar slinger, Lindsay Ell. And now, Rich Redmond.
What is up, rock and rollers? Rich Redmond here. Hey, this is another episode of the Rich Redmond Show. Fans, family, friends, I know you're out there, and I don't know when this is going to run because sometimes we do these out of order, but Happy New Year 2020. How did this happen? I remember when I thought 30 was old, Jim.
30 is not old.
I know, and now I'm pushing the big 50.
And that's still not old.
And I'm going to have a multi-city party. I'm having it. And there's going to be fire trucks, midgets, strippers,
video streaming,
Garth Brooks impersonators. I'm calling the Nashville scene. The LA Times is going to come. It's going to be sick.
I want Kevin Murphy to be there. I want him to be the host.
Oh my God. He could do it.
He could be the Rich Redmond impersonator.
Now, if you hear this laugh in the corner, it's because this is our guest, and I'm so excited about having her, Stoney Creek recording artist, Lindsay Ell.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm so good, Rich.
It's so
long
good to
time
see
no
you.
see.
I know. We played a lot of music together.
It's been a while.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Look at that audience noise. I'm so impressed.
Thank
Guys,
They're like a techno audience.
I don't know what episode number this is going to be, but every episode I talk to Jim about labeling the knobs.
Is that slang?
Jim, label the knobs.
buddy. Okay, just remember where the gadupsh is and the audience. Okay, those are the most used ones.
Right.
So, Jim, let me tell you about my relationship with Lindsay. She is hailing from Calgary, Alberta.
Yep,
right.
true story.
And now, when you moved to Nashville, they call Nashville a 5-year town, but you moved here 10 years ago.
I did.
And you were a legal drinking age for Canada, but not the United States.
But not the United States, no.
You came with a guitar and a dream, and so you're a singer, you're a songwriter, but really what separates you from the pack is that you are a guitar slinger, and not just, I know 3 bar chords that I play at the bar. No, you sling an electric guitar.
Yeah.
Right?
I do.
And
Crank out Eruption if need be? Or?
If need be, yes.
All the tapping and
yep. If need be, guys.
It's a great combo. You don't usually see a woman in high heels and short dresses slinging an electric guitar.
You don't.
It's a great thing.
In fact, I can probably name under 10. Maybe under 5.
You
Susan
stand up and pay
Tedeschi, I
attention.
love her.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I know she's fantastic. And so our relationship goes back a decade ago when I had a production company with Kurt Allison, Tully Kennedy, and David Fanning.
Yeah.
And we were crafting music together, and we crafted and we crafted and we crafted, and we put some stuff out to radio. Things started to get some traction.
You guys helped me get my record deal.
Oh my God. We did that, I think, with Thompson Square and Parmalee too.
Yes. Yeah, that deserves an applause.
I should be living in the Governor's Club.
Oh my goodness. Yes, you should. Yeah, I mean, you guys were my boys. I knew one person's name on a piece of paper when I first moved to Nashville.
Yeah.
And so when we all started working together in the studio, like, I didn't really know a lot of people in town, but by the point we were recording, I had been, writing and doing triples every day and, just trying to get my Nashville network kind of going. And you guys really, really took me under your wing, and I will forever be grateful.
Well,
for that.
thank you so much. It was such a pleasure. You're so talented and so fun, and that was just a really fun period of our lives. And man, just so fun. Now, looking back, what brought you to Nashville? Don't you have a relationship with BTO, Randy Bachman?
I do, yeah.
Tell us that story.
I met Randy when I was 13, and at that point, I was just like playing Tommy Emmanuel songs on the guitar and writing. And writing things, and I met him through like a songwriting buddy of mine, and he listened to my little first EP I did when I was like 13 years old.
It was burnt on a CD,
it was horrible.
right?
It was burnt on a CD, and it was horrible. But Randy heard it, and he was like, "This sounds like a young female Chet Atkins. I need to meet this girl."
That's great.
And so I met him. I remember he came to the house for the first time, my parents' house. growing up, and my parents were huge classic rock guys, or my dad was for sure a huge classic
Your parents
rock
play
guy.
instruments?
My parents play instruments. Yeah, my mom plays piano. My dad plays pretty much everything with strings, guitar, mandolin.
Oh, he's got to be proud, I'm sure.
Everything. Yeah, he actually toured with me a lot when because I wasn't old enough to drive myself to my own gigs. And so he would drive me to all my shows and play behind me, and he'd like play mandolin behind me. And so my dad really got me started. He put my first guitar in my hands.
That's nice.
And yeah, I remember the first day Randy came to our house, and my parents were freaking out because they were like, Randy Bachman's coming to our house. What are we going to do? And he pulls up in this stretch limo. My mom is like running around, like trying to make sure everything's clean. And
he's still showing up in style.
He showed up in style, but then he showed up. He was in like jeans and running shoes and put his feet up on the coffee table and was like, all right, let's write a song. And he was so down to earth. He became like another dad to me growing up.
Now, for those millennials out there that know they don't know BTO, they have a song called "Taking Care of Business" that's been licensed to Staples.
Yes.
But it is a pillar of the classic rock.
American Woman. Mm-hmm. Like, you ain't seen nothing yet. Yeah, I'm sure many millennials have heard these songs in commercials.
That's right.
Over and over and over and over.
Yeah, that's what the smart classic rock band does.
They might have heard the American Woman.
Lenny Kravitz's version. True enough, but it was originally.
Now, I didn't know that.
Randy.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah,
okay.
I
wow.
know. See?
Late 90s.
You learn something new every day.
Totally. Now, going back to when you say you were getting your Nashville feet wet and getting your community together, you were talking about doing triples every day. So for those of us in the community that aren't songwriters, that means that in Nashville, it is a songwriting machine. It is the songwriting capital of the world. So somewhere on 16th, 17th, 18th, or 19th Avenue in Midtown Nashville, people get together in these little houses that have been converted into publishing companies, and they sit around with guitars and a rhyming dictionary and pads of paper.
Honestly. And they bring their lunch.
They bring their lunch.
Which is why they call them lunchbox songwriters, because you go into these houses and the bedrooms are writing rooms.
Right.
And so you walk up the stairs and sit down in this bedroom that's been converted with like couches and everything.
Right.
And you sit there for 3, 4, 5 hours and write songs.
And you say, like, what's going on in your life? What happened to you? Anything fun happened this weekend? And when I was writing for 5 years, I had the little deal at Magic Mustang, and I would bring in titles, and I would bring in moods, and I would bring in stories, and I would be like, that's it right there. And I said, I know it's not the most like I wrote Colt Ford's coming in today. I said, I got an idea. Crank it up. I mean, we've heard that a million times, but then we started, I got a beat going, and then we started talking about what happens, and it just, there you go, 3 hours later. So you would write 10 to 1, maybe 2 to 5, and 6 to 9
every day.
And that's kind of also the schedule that we had for recording sessions.
Right.
You know, so eventually the song gets written, and then someone has to dress it up and create a demonstration of the recording. So if Lindsay's writing a song and she says, this is great for me, but it's even better for Keith Urban. How do we get it to Keith Urban's people? And so then they have to go record the demo, and then they get it to the guy with the cigar, and he's like, yeah, kid, I like it. I'll get it to Keith. So we have this entire industry here.
We do.
That doesn't exist in Austin.
It does not exist in any other town, and I didn't even know what it meant until you come to Nashville and you see the music industry work. And it is something unlike anything else you've seen.
That's how hot dogs are made.
True. Gosh.
So, and your music really is, it's a culmination. It's a hybrid of rock, blues, pop, country. Who are some of the people that you grew up kind of like idolizing as a front person or as a guitar player?
Hendrix, for sure. Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Yeah.
Clapton. Randy was the one who really got me into the blues, because I idolized Shania when I was 10 years old.
That's
I mean, I wanted to be her.
Yeah, she's a Canadian.
Yeah,
it's like right up there with Crown Royal.
I would sing in the mirror. True enough.
And Rush.
Or maple syrup.
Yes.
Yes.
And Timmy Hose.
Timmy Hose. All of the Canadianisms. But I sang in my mirror wanting to be Shania, and then Randy would play all these jazz chords up and down the neck. He learned how to play guitar from Lenny Breau, who's an amazing jazz guitarist.
Nice.
And so I was like, Randy, what is that? And so I dove into blues and rock and jazz music when I was 13, and I didn't really go anywhere else for the next 7 years. Right. And so, I fell in love with a lot of that stuff. I went on tour with Buddy Guy when I was 18.
That's nice. That was your college.
That was my college.
Yeah.
And he invited me down to Legends a few times, and I could have jammed with him there. And so the blues is like a huge foundation to my playing.
Well, it's a foundation to
everything.
Everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everything from Rolling Stones to everything. But yeah, I think that's why a lot of my influences are like in that vein.
Right. And then was country up there? I mean, were you familiar with like the back catalog? Because when I moved here, I was like, I was a overtrained fusion classical, jazzer. And I moved here and I was like, all right, I got to figure out how to play Tammy Wynette's DIVORCE. And so I went and bought all this stuff on cassette and I just soaked it up. Yeah. So did you have to kind of do the same thing or?
A little bit. Like I grew up with country, and Calgary sort of like the country music mecca of Canada. And so I listened to that stuff when I was younger. In fact, I like yelled at my brother if he like changed the dial of the radio station away from the country station. So growing up, I was super into it. And then in my teens, I departed and listened to everything and then moving to Nashville kind of brought me back full circle.
Now it's like the gloves are off. Anything goes. We've got trap hat, hip hop, phrasing, and 808 kick drums and giant snare drums. And we have another guest coming in today, Paul Lime, that brought 82 snare drums to the Shania Twain session.
82?
What the heck for?
Mutt Lang wanted to hear all 82 snare drums to pick his favorite one.
Wow.
But that's the wonderful thing about country music, I think, right now, is it's just grown so much as a genre, and the perspective of what is country right now is a lot of different things. It's as much as John Party as it is Blanco Brown, as it is Sam Hunt, as it is,
Yeah, what was the cat that did the thing with Billy Ray Cyrus, the big explosion song?
Lil Nas X.
Okay, so
as it is.
He was on the cover of Time magazine.
I know. Which he got that from a Splice sample, as far as I know. And he paid like, I want to say.
A royalty?
No, he paid like $20 or $200 for like a sample.
Wow. Sample of what?
That I mean, I'm pretty sure I read from an article somewhere that's how that song started. Is he paid for a sample? Maybe he paid like $200 or something, and I don't know if it was Lil Nas X, but the song started from a sample, and then it grew into that, and it was all done, perfectly fine, like copyright wise, but yeah, it started from a sample.
I left a sample at the dermatologist the other day, and everything's cool.
Great, that is
everything is
good
fine.
To hear.
And I went to my dermatologist here, and they're like, "You're fine. It's just the aging," and then they took my $100 and like, "That's your diagnosis?"
I hate that word.
Then I went to my girlfriend's dermatologist in Beverly Hills, and the guy goes, "No, we're taking a biopsy. We're doing this." I paid the money, but they found the problem.
Well, isn't that worth it then?
You got to go to the best of the best for everything.
I guess we got to go to Beverly Hills.
What's your second opinion?
Beverly Hills.
What was the problem?
Oh, no, I'm good. It's just, the aging skin. You're like, wow, what's that?
But you've got the olive oil skin going.
I know.
Yeah, you do. You have like the best skin
Thank
color.
you so much.
Permatan.
You know what I actually
honestly,
discovered?
As a girl, I am very jealous. I would save so much money in spray tans if I had your complexion, Rich.
You know what? Thank you. I can thank my mom for that.
You can, yeah.
It's definitely part of the Italian.
I just saw my parents for the holidays, guys, and I felt like an infant because I felt like I was in the womb because I basically ate and slept like a baby for 6 days.
It's that time of year that you have no idea what's going on.
And that's the best.
It's incredible.
The best part. Because I think we run so ragged and our jobs are like all over the place and we're traveling all over the world and schedules are not 9 to 5 jobs. And so the holidays are the one time where you're just off.
Did you go up and see your folks?
I did. Yeah. I actually took my first solo vacation and my first vacation in like 3 years because I was fried by the end of this year. Like
You've been working hard.
We've toured pretty hard. I mean, last year we played 230 shows. This past
That's what a new artist plays.
Like in 2018, in 2019, we played 200 shows. We were on the road like 260 days. So
that's incredible. So let me. It was a lot. I assume you like all the guys in your band. Are you all?
I love the guys.
You're all in one bus.
Yeah.
Bus and trailer.
We're all still one bus and trailer.
You got the road manager, the front of house guy, the monitor guy. You got a merch guy.
You're all one happy family, but they do become your road family. Do you remember those days?
I totally remember.
One bus and trailer.
12 guys on one bus. Living and breathing with each other and finishing each other's sentences. And, for those of you guys that have never been on a tour bus and you have to get your sea legs on them because this is a moving, picture your condo on wheels. and it never stops.
Never stops.
And you have to sleep and you have to pee.
And you gotta love that
Also, picture
lifestyle.
being one girl
Yeah.
in the midst of all of
No,
that.
you have to be very comfortable. You have to have
with men.
a dose
Yes.
of masculinity.
Yes, you do. And I always have, because I've grown up in like a 15-passenger band van with boys ever since I was 15. But
You said you had a brother?
yes, I held an older brother.
Did he lift the lid?
He did lift the lid.
And the guys on the
He
bus
was
are
trained
lifting the
very
lid?
well. Yes,
Okay, that's
I have a lot of very well-respected men in my
Now,
band.
Lindsay, are you doing the chick singer thing and taking the back lounge, or are you in a bunk?
Okay, so here's the thing. This is like a big issue, because originally I was like, I don't want to be the chick singer thing.
But you have more clothes and more
But
stuff.
also,
You're the only girl.
I'm the only girl, and I have like a makeup and a lot of extra clothes, and just like doing the bunk and then sharing a back lounge is just a very difficult thing. So I'm
Totally.
I'm
You got to
doing
have
the chick
a place for
singer
your
thing.
yoga mat, your thigh master.
Exactly, guys. Being a girl on the road is like
So tough.
is
guys.
much tougher. You won't even understand.
You were talking about being a big happy family.
Yeah.
And one of the big happy family members we have is
School of Rock.
Yes.
Lindsay,
that
you
little
remember when you were learning
I
your
do.
guitar?
I
So
do.
like, when did you actually start the guitar?
8 years old.
So you're 8 years old. So me too. I think I started. My parents say that I started the drums at 7. Some say it's 8, but I have some drum method books that say September 7th, 1976. So I was 6 years old.
Wow. Yeah, I was 6 when I started playing piano.
Okay.
I played piano first.
And piano is a great because you have melody, harmony, and rhythm.
I'm so grateful. The theory that you learn on a piano,
Yes.
because it's just like all laid out there, and you can just learn something to a different level that then when you apply it to other instruments, it makes sense in a whole new way.
Totally, and that's what our folks
glad you said that.
Yeah, no, that's what our friends at School of Rock are doing. You know, there's 250 locations in the world of School of Rock, and my friends Angie and Kelly McCrite are the best. They've
They're
owned the
amazing.
School of Rock here like 8 or 9 years. I got involved with them in the early days, and they're cranking out great musicians. So if you're a parent out there, you're a cousin, you're a brother, you got a little brother that wants to learn the drums, the guitar, the bass, the keyboards, wants to front a band, you take them to the School of Rock. There's 2 locations here. There's one in Franklin, it's Cool Springs area. There's one in Nashville in the Belmont Boulevard area by Belmont University. And there's 2 email addresses. It's Franklin at schoolofrock.com. and Nashville at schoolofrock.com. Tell them I sent you. And I don't know when this is going to run, but this will probably be a thing of the past. But this Sunday, I'm hosting a charity event for them. They do it every year at the Ryman. And I've got a bunch of celebrity musicians that are going to jump up on stage. And it benefits the Learning Center here in Nashville, Tennessee, which is a great thing for kids that need that extra push in their education.
Well, by the time this show airs, they probably be able to look back on video of that event.
Probably. Yeah, but we love the School of Rock, folks, and check out School of Rock, 2 locations in Nashville. Let's hear some of your music. You had a number 1 song.
Whew.
Tell us about that with our friend Brantley Gilbert, right?
They call it a 10-year town. My goodness. So Brantley's head of his label, Mr. Scott Borchetta, called the head of my label, Mr. John Loba.
We love John.
We love John.
I met Scott for during a Steel Magnolia record.
No way. Yeah. That's awesome.
Haven't seen him since. Scott, hit me up, buddy.
You know, both of them are just so smart.
Yeah.
Like both Scott and John just really understand the industry. And so, yeah, Scott called us and asked if we would want to be a part of this record with Brantley. And it took me 30 seconds listening to this song to find out it was such a hit, and I wanted to be a part of it. And it has changed my life in the past year.
I love it. Everybody needs a number 1. That is the goal.
Yeah.
Are we getting audio, Jim? We didn't really check this.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
There we go.
Yeah.
I can't go for a ride to clear my head, 'cause everything I passed puts you back in it. You were done, moving on, but you can't be too far gone. 'Cause what happens in a small town stays in a small town. Every main road we've ever gone down, Friday night bleachers, Sunday pews, ain't a county line mile without a memory of you. Every whisper, every room I walk in, every time the bartender fills it up again. Everybody knows why I'm here and you ain't around. 'Cause what happens
Second verse. Let's hear Lindsay deliver.
From us and from you, but this is where I belong. This is my home
Yes. That's magic. And the verses are short. It's like, let's
the verses are
get to that
short.
chorus.
The first verse to the chorus, it hits the chorus like in under.
Fast. Is that you on the Roger Lynn?
No,
Or is it just straight to
that's
vocals?
Brantley's guitar player. But Dan did let me play the solo.
Is that a Dan Huff production?
It is a Dan Huff production.
Nice.
And playing guitar in front of Dan Huff was very nerve-wracking.
I want to hear the solo. Can we find that?
First time, you can. Yeah, I should know actually at what time.
Here it is.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
Let's go back.
Nice.
Nice.
You know what that makes me think of is, you ever see the, I know you're not a big Metallica guy, but were you big into Metallica?
Absolutely.
The hits.
That was my first
hits.
concert
The hits.
ever.
Really?
I've never seen them in concert.
Really?
But I digress.
I didn't really see them either because there was so much pot smoke. And when I was 12 years old, I was like, is this what happens at every single show? Like you
feel
couldn't
so
even
good
see
and
Lars
hungry.
or anything. Yeah.
No,
what is happening?
My dad took me to see Van Halen, and I was kind of sheltered, but I was like, Dad, what's that green cloud?
Yeah, exactly.
This makes me think of on Bidge and Purge. Remember that box set they put out back in the early 90s?
Yeah.
And it was a documentation of them making the Black Album. I think I told you about it, Rich.
Right.
They took 10 months in the studio.
It's 9 months too long.
Just
That's
to
a long time.
But they were writing the songs, I think.
Right.
You know, it was
True.
a pure creative experience. I
Right.
guess that's how they used to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And Kirk Hammett trying to come up with his solo on The Unforgiven was
trying.
Oh my gosh, just to get the right one down.
Yeah.
And Lars is in the background, like covering his face and making like pained looks and everything. It's just,
Well, you make it cry and sing, which is that was a goal. Like, what is more appealing to you, making it cry and sing, kind of like more like a Carlos Santana, or do you want to, or how do you keep the stuff in the back of the bus, or you?
Yeah, a lot of that happens in the bus. I mean, I think playing solos live, playing guitar live, playing anything live is much different than playing anything in the studio.
Right.
In the studio, things live forever. You're putting that on concrete that is etched in stone. And there are a lot of things that I would do live that I will never do in the studio. The studio, you're like writing the additional lyrics for the song, whether it's a drum fill, whether it's a guitar solo. You know, a lot of times less is more.
Yeah.
Live is the moment where you're living in that time for you and everybody in the audience. And you can do a lot of that.
And you're stretching out your arrangements. I looked up some YouTube stuff.
Oh
where
my
it's like,
gosh. I stretch everything. If I don't have an extended intro and extended outro and extended guitar solo, then something's probably wrong.
So you guys are doing like what at this point? 90-minute show, or
it depends. We do everything now. You know, we're still opening a lot on bigger tours where we'll have the good 25-minute set. Where I have mastered the 25-minute set. Though.
Right.
I will say the secret to the 25-minute set. You know, opening up for Paisley and Keith and Sugarland and on the Brantley Gilbert tour,
Jennifer Nettles.
You cut your second verses to all your songs. So you play first verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, long guitar solo.
Really? Is that what you guys did?
That's what I do, because then you get through more songs. And a new audience who doesn't really know you doesn't know your songs. That's really anyway. Great. So why care about the second verse? Why just like get through a few things, play like a cool cover moment, and then end your set?
So yeah, you have to work that out with your band.
Yeah.
That's like a mind shaft.
It's a lot of rehearsing, but it works. So we play everything from a 25-minute set to 90-minute shows.
Yeah, because we started with 18 minutes in front of the Rascal Flats.
Yeah.
So I think we did like Hicktown, Amarillo Sky, Y, and a fast version of something else, and then literally you're like, thank you, Rascal Flats, and then boom, you're moving your stuff off.
Somebody told me that early on, and I don't know if these were just acoustic things that you might not have been playing, but that you would play Hicktown at the beginning of your set
and the end.
Oh, do you remember that?
Sure.
Really?
We needed it. Otherwise, then we're filling in the middle with the Joker and Pink Houses and then B-sides, and like people are like, boo, get out of here.
Amazing.
You know, but you
amazing.
You win them over with persistence and tenacity. Exactly. And I tell drummers, I say, sometimes coming up pre-Aldine, I would work in bands with front people that weren't that charismatic.
Yeah.
And so I would have to amp up the charisma and the showmanship to keep the dancers on the floor, so if you're surrounded
it is a show.
It's a show.
Again, we are putting on a show for entertainment
value.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure.
I agree.
That's a lot. And so now, are you on this Monster Energy Outbreak tour? Is that your sponsor?
We finished that last year, but Monster Energy was amazing. That was my first headlining tour ever, which was so exciting. And
you have an opening act.
And I have an opening act.
Who was that?
Who was the first time? Mr. Adam Hambrick.
Okay.
Who he's such a talented writer and artist in his own right. Y'all should check out his music for sure. But yeah, so Adam opened for us. It was so much fun, and it was kind of weird to have that responsibility of like everybody in this club is buying tickets to see me.
Yeah.
This is crazy. It's like weird when those skills.
Does that mess with your head at all, or are you like, I've worked really hard for this?
Well, yeah, I definitely feel that way. I have worked really hard for this, and I'm so proud and honored and happy to be in this moment. But at the same time, that's a lot of pressure. Sure. I mean, I need to sell those tickets, and I need to find ways to sell those tickets, and I need to make sure promotion and, from the time I started, I was my own agent, manager, everything. And slowly as you grow and you have more people on your team and you like give responsibility to other people, which is a hard thing to do.
And 10%
sometimes. And 10 plus percent to a lot of different members of your team. Yep. But you also, learn how to do those jobs and respect them. And so, yeah, it's a big thing, headlining and doing your first headlining tour and figuring out all of the responsibilities that come with that job.
Now, your relationship with your fans, do you have a name for them?
Okay, so we've been like going through a few different things. A few people have called themselves L's Angels.
Yeah. Give it L.
Give it L. L Access. I don't know. There's been like a bunch of ones, and we haven't really like come up with what should it be?
It's got to be organic. I had to let them.
Yeah,
let them decide what it is.
Yeah,
that's true.
The
army.
Then they can own it.
That's true.
Yeah.
Now, do you go out and sign afterwards?
I do.
Yeah.
I love my fans so much, and I will wait there for hours. I will like go outside the venue and still sign for fans.
Pull a Garth.
Pull a Garth.
Look at it. Look at how it turned out for him.
Pull a Taylor.
And then sometimes I'll like if after a drum clinic or something, it's a totally different audience, but I'll pull out my bottle of hand sanitizer and I'll say, "Hey man, don't take this personally. I gotta shake another 80 hands."
Can't you just do the fist bump over and over again?
I don't want to pull a Howie Mandel. Like, I'm not a freak about germs, but let me use my hand sanitizer at least. Yeah.
I like hand sanitize before, and then I go through a full meet and greet,
and then wait
or signing, and then
sometimes I'll do it like subversively, like under the table or something, But
don't you think that makes your immune system stronger by going through those motions?
I started thinking about my.
It's like swimming in the Hudson River.
My girlfriend Kara is a little bit of a germaphobe, and she's like, "You're so good about washing your hands, but then." You went and touched the bathroom door. Keep the paper in your hand.
Keep the paper in your hand.
Duh.
Or put your sleeve over the.
Or she's like, you just used an ATM. You know how many weird homeless people are trying to get money out of that thing? I'm like, oh my God, you're right. Steplococcus.
You don't think about it. Do you flush the toilet with your foot?
No.
Really?
No.
Oh, I always
should do that too.
Yeah.
God, there's so many life hacks here, guys.
Life hacks.
Total life hacks.
Okay, on a plane.
Yeah.
Wet wipes. I travel with them all the time. How many people have sat in that seat?
You wipe that.
I wipe the seatbelt, the arms. They don't clean that every flight.
By virtue of you being in a sealed up tube.
Yes.
With all the stuff.
And we fly a lot.
We fly a lot.
We fly a lot. Are you a Southwest girl or is it?
So I used to be a Southwest girl, but we've just done so much international that I need to switch. So I'm a Delta girl now.
Okay, now Delta, and they've got the movies in the back of the headrest, which is nice.
Yes,
and so speaking of your tour schedule, I noticed you are in January 17th. You're still doing Billy Bob's, Fort Worth.
I am.
And then
Do you remember that?
Oh my God, we signed the wall.
Yeah. Oh my, I'll have to look for that.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't even afford really good drums back then. I would play like the had student entry level, drums.
CD700s.
Yeah, not quite that bad.
Pearl Forum series.
It's but if you have a chance to sign a wall because
sign a wall.
we're right next to Jim Belushi.
All right, I will look for it.
Yeah.
Speaking
Over
of
the
signing a
thousands of
wall,
names.
Yeah.
we should probably pay some bills to pay for the wall.
I love bills. I love paying bills. We'll be right back.
The Rich Redmond Show. We'll be right back.
Learn by doing, I definitely think resonates with what we're about here at the School of Rock. I'm Angie McCright, and I'm the owner of the School of Rock in Franklin and Nashville. I would say that the majority of kids that come in have either been sitting in their bedrooms watching YouTube, learning how to play, or they've taken music lessons at some point in their life. We do have a lot of beginners. It doesn't matter what level you're at. You can participate in our programs, whether you're a beginner or you're advanced. We don't teach music to put on shows. We put on shows to teach music.
Connect with School of Rock today. Search School of Rock Franklin or Nashville. This is the Rich Redmond Show.
We are here with my friend Lindsay Ell, and if you want to check out her website, it's www.lindsayell.com. Lindsay Ell.
Right.
And for the gearheads out there that might be guitar players, what's your stuff, man? What's your gear talk?
Gosh, it changes
Rig rundown.
all the time. I did a rig rundown this past year, and it was one of the coolest moments. And I'm like, am I big enough to do a rig rundown?
Sure,
this
absolutely.
is crazy. We were opening for, is it sad that I don't even remember what tour it was on? I'm pretty sure it was the Sugarland tour. We were in Bridgestone.
Yeah.
So yes, my gear. I play a lot of Strats right now. I'm addicted to single coils and all the beauty that they give. And then my pedal board, I've switched to a fractal pedal board.
Right.
As much as it's a love-hate thing, I change it every show. I bring my laptop now with me to soundcheck, which is so weird in this
So it's
digital
more
era.
of like a digital.
Yes, there was Fractal Audio, Kemper. I have a Kemper in the studio at home that we use, but it allows you to set up, scenes for every song. And as much as I hate that as a guitar player, I love being able to throw a board together and just do it. Like, as much as we travel, I just got so sick of opening my board to every show and something was wrong.
Yeah,
And like
one little disconnect.
one cable, and I don't travel with a tech all the time. And so it can be really challenging when, especially if we're on an opening spot and you have 10 minutes to figure out everything.
Yeah, and I feel for guitar players that are like, working guys, like, our friend Kurt, he would have Kurt and Adam that play guitar on a lot of the Aldine records.
And their pedal boards are amazing.
They're huge, right? So you
Huge.
get this, and then you're like, okay, this is for the in-town one.
Yes.
Then this one is the road one,
Yeah.
but then sometimes you need a backup for the road
know.
one, or you need a B version, and it's a lot of pedals, it's a lot of money.
It's a lot of pedals, it's a lot of money, but I've found that it's just like you figure out what works for you. And so I've been running like a little Axe 8 just for my effects that I can program for every song. And then I have a B rig board that's just a simple throw and go of like, the very bare minimum.
And isn't it freeing sometimes to never play pedals, just literally plug direct into an amp?
It is really freeing. And you always know that you're in a good spot where you can just plug directly into an amp and go.
Yeah.
As a musician,
Yeah.
you take out all the frills. It's just like they tell songwriters, if you can play that song with an acoustic guitar and a vocal and it still speaks its truth, then you know you have something real.
Yeah.
And then amp-wise, I've played everything through Dr. Z's. I've played a Z-Rec for most of last year. I always just love a simple deluxe. I can never go wrong, and I usually always have at least one of those on stage. I've been playing through an AC-15. I love an AC-30, but I just find AC-15s break up a little bit easier.
Rig rundown.
And I just bought a Seriatone. Now, Seriatone is a company and they make like custom amps, whatever you want. And so I got a version of an Overdrive Special that I'm really excited about.
I see a custom product or signature product in your future.
I would flip out
Right?
about that.
So drummers, you get your own sticks, or you help design a cymbal, or you might have a
pretty cool,
custom
though, too.
snare drum or something.
Yeah.
So with your name in lights and your name's on the marquee, and you have that reach, I think that's going to be.
So I started painting guitars off my first album. I came up with the idea. As you know, you go to YouTube and you start to listen to a 3.5 minute song for the first time. They have these things called audio videos where you generally look at the album cover for 3.5 minutes and listen to the song. And I'm like, that's so boring to look at a stagnant picture for 3.5 minutes. Like, let's do something. And so I was like, what if I painted a guitar and then it was time lapsed so that you can see me like paint this guitar
I love
really
that.
fast.
That's great.
And so for my last album, The Project, I painted a guitar for every different song.
That's
and
great.
you can go and see me paint the guitar for each song on the album. And then we gave away all the guitars to charities and
That's a
few
really
to
great
fans.
idea.
And so
Nice.
I'm doing my next round of painted guitars. I just painted my I Don't Love You guitar. And
Do you have art training?
no,
you
I'm
just-
I'm an awful painting artist.
So
I
you
have
just go with
no
like
training.
flat daisies and
Well,
sunshine.
no,
and
I try to paint
cow
things.
in the pasture.
I've done a buffalo before. I got hired to do this. This couple won this charity thing at a silent auction where I said I'd give them a custom painted guitar, and in their bar at home it was called like Buffalo something, their last name or something. They're like, will you paint a buffalo on a guitar? And I'm like, I don't even know how to draw a stick person, but yeah, sure, I'll try.
Yeah.
And so I
You're
did.
like, what
And
is this brownie with
it turned out-
legs?
yeah, exactly. It actually turned out fine, but yeah. So hopefully when I do my signature, maybe it can be like some painted thing.
That'll be really, really great. And remember we were talking about the guys in your band. Did that thing happen? The Christmassy thing
The thing.
with your drummer?
I don't remember this thing. Oh, yes.
Did it happen?
I'm giving it to him tomorrow.
Okay, so he'll already have it by the time this airs.
He'll already have it by the time this airs.
Nice.
But yes.
No idea
So I
what
was
you guys
like,
are
So this
wait,
is the
what
total
thing?
inside story, and
Yeah.
so
I'm so excited.
So Lindsay is like, "What the hell are you talking about?" So,
I know. I'm like, wait, what? It's also his birthday tomorrow,
Yeah.
and so I've been traveling. I just got back. He just got back, so I'm giving
Yeah.
it to him in the morning. I'm
Lindsay
so
wanted
pumped.
to gift her drummer with a rectal Evinrude, a butt thumper.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
And I remember him talking to me about it, and he was like, "Yeah, it's the one that Rich uses," and I was like. Oh, really? Note to self. And then here I text Rich like a month ago, and I'm like, hey, buddy, I need your help.
What is this thing he's talking
What
about?
is this thing, and where do I get
Yeah,
it?
so it's a company called Porter and Davies, and it's basically they put this vibrating thing inside the drum throne.
You being so
So you can-
majestic
yes.
at describing
Yeah,
things.
it's a
rectal Evinrude. Imagine an outboard engine mounted to the bottom of your seat.
yes. And so when you hit
Exactly
your
what it looks
when
like.
you hit your bass drum, you can feel the low end because back in the day in the 70s in the classic rock era, we would just have these giant wedges on stage that would move air.
It's so true.
Now we don't have
and
those.
it started because my bass player, and I
Yeah.
wish I knew the exact name. I will get it before this airs. But
They have stuff for bass players too.
yeah,
You can feel
he
it.
has
Yeah,
one on
nice.
his strap.
Yeah.
as a bass player, and it feels amazing because in venues where you can't run stuff really loud, and you can actually feel
The low end.
like feel the low end.
Do you think
I wish
it'll
they
ever-
had something for a
You
guitar
think it'll ever
player.
go back to where you actually had wedges?
I mean, some
Would
guys
you like that again?
Some guys that are retro or like an Americana artist that plays places like the Hotel Cafe
Right.
in Los Angeles,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's just like there's wedges and everybody's controlling the volume to play the room. I love wedges for that,
Yeah.
but when you have to play Madison Square Garden, and that's going to be tough.
Or
I mean-
even as a vocalist, I mean, ears are just a game changer because
In your monitors,
But do you like, as a drummer, feeling the bass drum hitting you? Because I did when I played live. You know, I mean, having it blast back.
I loved
you know,
it.
that
Yeah, no,
feedback.
everything is like your version of just plugging direct as a drummer is like when I go and do all these jams in LA, like the Whiskey and the Viper, it's like it's an old drum set covered with an inch of dust with cracked cymbals.
Yeah.
And you go up there and as high tech as it gets is you might have like a flashing light on your phone for the tempo, and I'll
Yeah.
go 1, 2, 3, and there's no click, no
No.
ears, no loops, no anything.
you're
It's just
going with
so
your
free.
heart and your brain.
Intuition.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
It is
fun.
so free. Like, I mean, as a guitar player, I do miss moving air, which is why I run a digital board into an amp because I miss it. And there are a lot of times I'll rip out an ear just to be able to hear it and feel
Yeah.
that air being moved in a venue for sure.
Totally.
Coming out of the front of house PA or just from the back of you? From
Having an amp on stage.
Okay.
And like actually miking it.
Right.
But
because you look at the pictures of like those old 80s rock bands and stuff like that with the massive amounts of stacks behind them, they weren't all active, I guess.
They couldn't have been, right?
I mean, I will say I saw Vince Neil open for, of all bands, of course, Van Halen back in 93. And who was the guy who played with him? Not Richie Scarlett, but somebody else like that. But it sounded like the rack behind him was live because it was that loud.
Yeah.
And that's all I heard because I was like dead front.
No, a good
center.
rock band should sound like a jet airline taking off.
Yes, it should.
It really should. You should be hit with the visceralness of that.
Yes.
But sometimes when you have a 2,000 seat theater, they have restrictions, or
Right.
God forbid if you're an opening act. I mean, we've opened for a lot of people that were like, you're getting half lights and you're getting half volume.
Yes.
And so when we got to the point where we were headlining in 2009, 2010, we were like, everyone that opens gets full stage, full lighting, full
It's amazing.
sound.
That was your rule for the
That's
openers?
what Aldine always said, give them
for
everything that we have because
That's
we
so
we have
awesome.
nothing to fear. We have nothing to
Right.
lose. Go out there and do your thing and give the people their best version. Why would you want to give your audience a half product?
I agree.
It's almost like you're compensating for something.
Totally.
Overcompensating.
I know.
Yeah.
That's very interesting that you bring that up. I did not realize that happened, that they'd actually tone back the openers.
Well, we're not.
All the
I
time.
just never want to name names, but
Well, yeah,
it's
but I
actually a fairly standard practice across the board, across genres, across.
Festivals.
Yeah.
Like it just happens. The opener needs to be quiet.
But you guys have always, I've seen you guys a couple of times, you guys meaning Aldine and everybody, you've always been comfortably mixed well, meaning that I didn't feel like I was going to have like that ringing in my ears at the end of the night.
No, our front of house engineer.
Compliments to him.
Chris Stevens, we stole him from Michael McDonald
He's
at like
amazing.
26 years old, and he just mixes. It's very audiophile, super clean, and you can almost have a conversation.
You kind of can.
Yeah.
But I
that's
still enjoy the
amazing.
music.
Yeah.
The one band that I always reminded myself of like, holy crap, I forgot how loud these guys were, was Rush.
Yeah,
You ever see them?
No, I've never seen them, but I've heard their shows are loud.
not a lot of
my
girls at Rush
gosh.
shows.
No.
No, I did see the Foos though, and they were loud.
Foo Fighters, were they?
It was awesome, but it was loud.
Yeah. Did you ever see the video of the Foo Fighters playing Wembley or something? And there's this rock dude that jumps up on stage with them and gets the guitar and just
No.
starts shredding.
And he was amazing.
He knew every note, every
Oh
lick.
my
and they're like,
gosh.
Dave Grohl is such a nice guy.
He's
just
so
like,
nice.
rock dude, go.
He's so nice.
Gave him the whole platform
Yeah.
to do
That's
his
incredible.
thing. Now,
That happens a lot with them.
with the guitar is such a masculine, almost like a phallic thing, right?
it is.
I mean, if you gave me a guitar, forget it. I would. Oh my god,
Whatever. If you made me sit down on that kit right there, forget it.
I would have so much fun.
I can
though.
do like the gravity beat, and that's about it.
But
Can we do a video after this?
Oh my
You
gosh!
try to play the drums and you try to play. You have a guitar right there.
It is
I know I would go.
miserable.
I do my Chuck Berry. But do you do you reach out to the Orianthes and the Jennifer Battens? Is there like a unspoken community of you girls that get together at the NAMM show's coming up next week?
Yeah, I will be there. Will you be there?
I'm skipping this year. My rule is I go every other year.
Ooh, that's a good rule. I will be there for one day and
Yeah.
no longer. But yeah, Ori and I are good friends. She's a sweetheart. We met actually at a Melissa Etheridge show.
I love her music.
David Santos.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Me too. She's so great. And yeah, Ori and I, like, it's cool. We just kind of speak the same language and we fight the same battles as being female guitar players. We were on this show with Billy Gibbons, and I remember like at soundcheck, Billy Gibbons was like right here to my right. Richie Sambora was right in front of me, and Robert Randolph, who's like an incredible player. If you don't know who he is, you need to check him out. And all of them, and then Ori, and then. And like there was a whole stage of guitar players, and I was like, "What is happening right now?" If 10-year-old little Lindsay would have known this moment was going to happen, she would have freaked out. But yeah, Ori and I are really good friends. I've never met Jennifer. I've never met Bonnie Raitt. But I do think that, you know, when we do come together on these shows or charities or whatnot, we just kind of have a camaraderie because we know what each other has been through to get to this moment.
I mean, Bonnie was really early on to,
so early on.
to the scene.
It was the coolest thing that Buddy Guy ever said to me. It was our second show with him, and I just wanted to like shake his hand and say thank you for bringing us out on tour with you. And so we were sitting side stage watching his show, and I was so nervous to meet him. And I'd missed him. He came down to the dressing room to like say hello to my band, and I was like out at the merch table signing or something. And I was like, oh my gosh, I missed my opportunity to say thank you to Buddy Guy. What is happening? And later on in the show, he's like, how about that Lindsay Ell? And everybody clapped. And he's like, I might have her out in a bit. And we were like, what? And so I get my guitar ready, and I'm like standing, shaking on the side of the stage, and he invites me out on stage, and he was like, honey, we're in G. And then like we start playing or whatever. And after the show, I walk into his dressing room, and I was just like, thank you. That was the coolest thing that has ever happened to me. And he's like, Lindsay, you remind me the first time I ever met Bonnie Raitt.
Yeah. Nice.
For the very, very first time.
So that was a defining moment for you, something a feather for your cap.
Especially to have somebody like that, who he's like a pioneer of the blues,
right?
To be able to have him give me that kind of endorsement, it was crazy.
Yeah, and we can thrive. It's fuel to go further.
It's fuel to go further.
Because this is a tough industry. What kind of advice? Now you've weathered the storm for 10 years. You've got to be super proud of yourself. Your parents have got to be super proud of you. I'm super proud of you. The fact that your name is in lights. You're on the radio airwaves. You're making music videos. You got a band. You got a crew. This thing is going down the highway. People are showing up to see you. They're paying a hard ticket. So for those listeners out there, a soft ticket is there's a funnel cake and there's a goat wrangling contest and there's a Ferris wheel.
Yep.
And then Lindsay Ell plays that night.
Right.
That's a soft ticket.
Free show.
Yep.
Great.
You get into
Come on in.
You get your elephant ears and your deep fried Snickers, and you're going to go see. Now,
glorious. Well, and catering is barbecue.
Always. That's why when people say, Rich, do you want barbecue? I say, no, I've had enough for 10 men's years.
So true.
Oh my God, 10 lifespans of barbecue. But a hard ticket is your name's in lights, and they are paying the real money to come see you. And that's happening for you. And that is awesome.
It's crazy.
And it doesn't happen overnight. So what did you learn in the process? You've had these defining moments. You made your dreams come true. We're never done making our dreams come true. Because, I'll get caught into this time where people are like, I was like, man, I gotta work on this. I want to get further. I want to do. They're like, dude, take a breather and see what you've accomplished in 20 years.
But that's not how our brain works.
No, we're going to the next thing. I think it's the human condition. But what did you learn? What would you share with another 18-year-old singer-songwriter, guitar player, artist in training that moves to Nashville?
I will say two things. I will say that drive, that desire to reach your next goal, get to the next thing, you never lose that. You never lose that whether you have 0 number ones or whether you have 20 number ones. Like, you always want to figure out how to get to the next one. Like, you never lose that drive. And so you almost get to live in the pressure of it and be okay with the pressure of it and know that that's just part of our jobs, Hard work never goes underlooked. I'm a workaholic, and I love this so much, and I sacrifice everything else in my life to be able to do this, and I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I get to do what I love and wake up every morning and do what I love. And the last thing I will say is, living in music towns, you're surrounded by so many talented people, whether it's producers, writers, musicians, songwriters, who all want to help you.
Right.
But as an artist, you need to kind of find that inner voice that, like, okay, this is who I am. This is what I want to say. And that is the reference to what you should reference everything else. Because you have a lot of people who are going to give you great advice, but you need to reflect it back. Because if you're standing on stage and playing something that's not authentic to who you are, an audience picks that up quick.
Sure. That
And
sincerity and that
that sincerity and that transparency and that vulnerability, that when you are singing and playing music that reflects who you are, it is so beautiful. And that reflects to an audience, and then you're unstoppable. Then you are in a position on a bill where you're like, I don't care what anybody else says, because I'm just doing me, and nobody's going to be me, and I'm not going to be them.
And it's so tough because you are surrounded by bean counters and suits and people that all sorts have opinions, and you're like, where did you get that opinion
and
from?
Sometimes their opinions are good, but sometimes they're not. And sometimes they clash with who you are, and you need to be able to stand up and be like, actually, I'm going to do it this way.
They have an opinion for the sake of having an opinion.
Yeah. A lot of times.
You know, it's an interesting thing, and it's funny how
Jim McCarthy voiceovers.com.
Jim McCarthy.
The
legendary.
I watched a movie this morning, and I had no idea it would have this much to do with what we're talking about. First off, you being from Calgary, the movie was a lot of it set in Calgary, and then you talking about your authentic voice. There was a turning point in the movie where they realized, hey, this is who we are. Once we realize who we are and we do it the way we do it, that was a turning point of their success. And that movie was Cool Runnings. You ever see that movie?
Oh my
God, the Jamaican bobsled team.
Yes, I was like, what movie was shot in Calgary? But yes, Cool Runnings. That's
Doesn't that make
so
a lot
true.
of sense?
It makes a lot of sense.
You know, and it's like, why are we trying to be like the rest of the people up here? Let's be like Jamaicans because we're Jamaican.
Well, and for so long, even when I first moved to town, back when we were working together, like I so wanted a song on the radio, and I so was like listening to country radio and was like, all right, I gotta write like that. I gotta write a song like that one because that's gonna get me on the radio. And little do I know that if I write a song like that,
You're behind the curve.
You're behind the curve, and it takes 10 months to get to the position where that song is, and then you're behind the curve.
Right.
Very much so behind it. And so you just kind of need to be authentic to this and figure out like whatever your heart is wanting to do and say, and then go after that, man, because nobody else is doing that.
What's exciting you right now? What is exciting you right now, and what do you think the next 5 years looks like for you?
I've had such an incredible year. I mean, I've gotten to do a lot of international touring.
What were you guys going besides Canada? Where?
We did UK, Germany, Amsterdam, Australia, Japan, and New Zealand this year, which was amazing.
Now, who's your manager?
I'm managed by Red Light by Bryan Fraser.
Okay. Oh, I played music with Bryan.
You did?
Yeah, we were like in a metal rap band, like
That's
15 years ago.
amazing.
Yeah, I know.
We need to send him a picture.
So if that's the same Bryan, I'm thinking, yes, I think it is. So he's very forward thinking.
Very forward thinking.
And your music is not. I think your music has international legs.
Yeah.
I could see it going over in Amsterdam because you're a guitar slinger and
They appreciate it
and
there.
it's not all trucks and boots. Which
No,
some of
it's
that
not.
stuff doesn't translate.
We just finished a Germany tour opening up for this German pop star. His name is Ben Zucker. And the last show of the tour was at Mercedes-Benz Arena in Berlin for 18,000 people. And I was just like, I am on the other side of the world right now. And this is crazy. Like playing for 18,000 people. I just got my first #1 this past year,
Now, when was that?
It was the last ad date of the year. Or actually, no, the song hit #1 CMA week.
Oh, nice.
Like CMA week. So it's like beginning of November.
Yes.
And I played the CMAs with Little Big Town and just released a new single, and it was just like everything happens at once. Like you go through a lot of this. You go through a lot of ups and downs, and like in the downs you're like, what am I doing with my life, and where is all of this going, and why did I ever think this was a good idea? And then on the ups, it just seems like everything happens at once. And so I've really tried to learn how to like coast through all of the ups and downs. But I am so much more excited about 2020. Like this new year, I feel like I'm making music that's truly me. I love working in the studio with Dan Huff. I feel like as a guitar player, he is able to pull out that honesty and authenticity.
That's gotta be great.
Vulnerability in me. And he just inspires me so much as a player. And, we have a brand new song, I Don't Love You, which is crazy to come off a #1 and be like
that, right?
more excited about it than more excited about new music than anything that I've released before. Yeah, and so I cannot wait for everything this year.
Well, this is not only is it a new year, it's a new decade.
A new decade.
I mean,
guys.
that's like wow.
See you next decade.
You know?
Yeah, that's a big thing. A lot
Wait for
can
dad
happen
jokes.
in 10 years.
You want to hear a little bit of this
Let's
new
do
single?
it, yeah.
I love this.
Don't open up a bottle with my dinner, 'cause I know that it's just gonna sit out on the counter and go bad, just like the leftovers you just said to leave at the restaurant. I don't go to anymore, 'cause I won't go alone. So I pick up, take out, and sit at home.
Nice.
I was wondering what the twist would be.
I know, right? Nashville twist.
Old Stevie Wonder records sit on the shelf there while the gathering. Just like the movies we would spend our
Love that.
late night.
That's really good.
Thanks, guys.
There's not a lot of 6/8 happening in music
There's
anymore.
not a lot of 6/8. There was a time where everything was 6/8, and there's not a lot right now. So I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
For the folks out there, that's if you're counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Makes you wanna waltz.
It's a big R&B thing, you know. I hear a little of the inspiration. Some of your inspirations in there.
Thank you.
Just a great song. And so if you're out there and you're listening to traditional. Is that a cork? We just had a voiceover artist on. He was like, Rich, put a cork in your mouth.
What?
Whenever you
He
can't say a
did?
word, you put a cork in your mouth.
Yeah.
And you say it over and over with the cork in your mouth. Like, probably a good thing for when you're trying to get muscle memory for a word.
Elocution.
and singing.
Amazing.
Yeah.
For voiceover, I can't say regularly. For the life of me, regularly. And stick a cork in your mouth, say it several times, and boom, you nail it.
Nice.
Wow.
We're not going to edit that. That was like a slight.
That was beautiful.
That was a slight attack there. It was like I had Bell palsy or something.
So this song's going for ads in the radio world?
We went for ads last ad date of the year. We were number 1 Most Added, which was a crazy way to end the year. And now officially the charts open next week.
And you
which
can
is
request
crazy.
it.
You
Yep.
can totally request
And you're
it.
gonna
Call your
hear
radio
this.
stations.
Call your
Yeah,
local radio.
you're going to hear this at Billy Bob's in Fort Worth.
You are totally going to hear
and you're
this.
going to hear this all over Canada because that's where you're going later
Yeah.
January, right?
Yeah.
And then you could look for you at the NAMM show. You're going to be running around with all your
We'll be there.
your gal pals.
Oh, my gal pals.
I love that.
There was a song that you played on. Speaking of Canadian country-esque music, they have a lot of really good music.
I played with so many Canadians. Patricia Conroy,
Yeah.
Doc
she's a
Walker,
good
Walker.
friend.
the
Yeah.
Road Hammers.
They're so sweet. I love all of them.
Emerson Drive.
Yes.
So many Canadian
Who a lot of
friends.
them live in Nashville, actually. Funny enough.
Yes, they do.
But they have really good music. That doesn't seem to make it down here.
No,
It's so crazy. Even doing a lot of international touring,
Yeah.
it's so crazy to see like the kinds of music and the artists who stay in countries,
Yeah.
like who just don't cross borders for whatever reason. I mean, it's really expensive to tour internationally, but it is fascinating to go to a country and see like what artists they're listening to and realize like how much we don't know.
Yeah. That one song you played on for Doc Walker.
Beautiful Life.
Oh my, what a great
Such a
song.
great song.
That's a feather in my cap record because you kind of look back. You know, you can look back as you age and like your a body of work that you leave behind. Will it mean something when we die? I don't know. It's here forever.
Well, I used that song in a tribute for a friend of mine who died a couple of years ago. I went to high school.
I remember that. Yeah, Jim.
And
So
it fit perfectly.
Do you remember the song "What" that we did together?
Yeah.
Okay,
oh my
so-
gosh, I still have fans ask for that song.
So when I do my drum clinics, I tell everybody, okay, I want you guys to be my A&R team. And I want you to hear some of this song and tell me if
Stop
this
it.
should have been a single.
Stop it!
And people go, duh.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I love that song.
It's like a
is
summary.
part of your clinic.
I've been
is
playing it
such a
for 10
jam.
years.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love this song.
Big chorus. It's like cruising the PCH, top down,
Yeah.
summer song.
You walked out, you left, goodbye. You found somebody new. Grapevine said, you
Short verse.
said, I said, I did too. What? You're the one that left me. What? Thought you could forget me, calling me up at 3 a.m. missing me again, but I thought you had a girlfriend. What? No, I ain't coming over. What? Go cry on her shoulder. Bye bye, adios, see you later. Gotta go. Sorry, I'm happy you're not. I bet you're thinking what? I bet you're thinking what? I bet you're thinking what?
See, why can't you just take a song like that,
That ain't your truck parked in your
go, you could shoot a friggin' music video on a damn iPhone these days
But you can.
and put it out on YouTube. And just
Can.
Right.
Well, you could, but she was
Sell it on
associated.
your website as just, hey, you don't want to put it out? I'll put it out.
There's a committee of people going, that is not the single.
Right.
Yes, of which I'm very grateful I don't need to make those decisions because choosing a single for radio is like, woo. There's a
'Cause
lot
like
of
rolling
money
the
that goes
dice.
into it. It is rolling the dice. And there are a few people who understand the schematics of what goes into everything. I just get excited about music, and I'm so biased as a songwriter towards certain songs that like I actually don't want to choose a single, because I'm like, when I record a whole record, I'm like, I love each song for different reasons, and the people I recorded them with and the people I wrote the songs with. And so choosing a single is a very different thing. But yes, we do live in the world that you can make music videos on iPhones and record and release
It's crazy.
Yeah.
extra songs on YouTube. Yeah, it's pretty
my
amazing.
God.
There's no gatekeeper anymore.
There's no gatekeeper. / was a gatekeeper.
But still, to be in the game and to be heard on all the platforms, you have to have hundreds of thousands of dollars to promote the song.
To radio right now.
Right?
Yes.
And you have
Agreed.
to tour. And you guys are doing 230 shows a year. What's on the books this year?
We are going all over the place. We're doing a lot of international stuff again.
I love it.
Fair and festival craziness this summer. So yeah, it's just about our first show's like next week. It's like the calm before the storm.
I love it. Maybe we'll end up on some stuff together this year.
That would be amazing.
Would be so awesome. And I'll tell the guys you said hey, and I'm so
Please
excited
do.
you came over here to Crash
It's
Studio.
so good to see you.
It's a brand new year.
It's a brand new year,
So
guys.
happy for all your success.
Thank you.
What'd you learn?
Likewise.
I learned that it's a 10-year town.
10-year town
It's
now.
a 10-year town.
No, I think that
It is.
I think that Lindsay came and got her network and her Nashville footing together within the first 2-3 years, and she's been just building and building and building, and there's ups and downs, but I just think that you're in an awesome place, and what the next 10 years is going to bring is going to be profound.
I'm so
What did you learn,
excited.
Jim?
I'm learning that guitar virtuosity is going to be making a comeback, and she's going to lead the charge.
That's right.
Amen to that.
I love that. Maybe a solo instrumental record, like a fusiony record.
I've thought about that. I just don't know how many people would appreciate.
It's a small audience.
It's a small.
It's a
audience.
very small audience.
Maybe a song.
Yeah.
On a record.
I'm gonna do one. I'm gonna do
Are
like
you?
I'm gonna do like an instrumental, approachable fusion record where it's
Very cool.
The craziest we get is 7 and 6. Nothing.
That's great.
Nothing Greek.
That's
you could
great.
still clap your hands
Yeah,
to it.
yeah.
And then I'm gonna do a release party at the Baked Potato and check the box.
That's
know?
amazing.
It's gonna be fun.
I
You
am
do some
so excited for you.
1916 time signatures?
None of that stuff.
No?
I still want girls to like it.
Little Dream Theater?
True.
I still want my
Dream
girlfriend to
Theater's
come to
like
the show.
A little bit too far. Yeah.
He loves it. He loves Dream Theater.
Not their recent stuff.
No, I
Some
love
of
it.
the boys in my band love it.
No, he really likes it. I don't hold it against him. It's fine.
Thank you.
Except bring it up in every interview. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Mike Portnoy will never do our podcast.
He'll get on here.
No, well,
that'd be
well,
I think that'd be an amazing interview with you.
Yeah.
him, you know.
Well, guys, thanks for tuning in. We always appreciate it. We really do. And hey, we have an ask of you. Go to Apple Podcast, go to Stitcher, leave us a comment, leave us a rating. It really does make a huge difference. Thank you again to the School of Rock for sponsoring the show, and keep coming back for the good stuff. We'll see you next time.
This has been The Rich Redmond Show. Subscribe, rate, and follow along at richredmond.com/podcasts.